One Vanguard is taking over Season 9 with a 56.3% win rate, and that is over 90,000 tracked matches. Another tank has more than 130,000 tracked matches and is still only sitting in second. Meanwhile, Tank Pool is in dead last at a mere 46.8%. So today, let's rank every single Vanguard by their actual Season 9 stats. And honestly, guys, I think some of these placements are going to throw you for a loop. I was a little surprised to see where some of them ended up, so they might start an argument or two when we look at this list here today. Before we jump in though, I do want to say I did check multiple live trackers, and I didn't just sort by their raw win rates either. I weighted the list by their match counts as well. So this is a results ranking. This is not a pro play tier list we're going to be doing today. This is across all ranks what their win rates are looking like. So if a hero looks strong in high level games, but on this list they look weak, just blame the stats and do not blame me, please. So I have every win rate, I have every match count up for every hero on the screen. You'll see those with little graphics today. So with that out of the way, let's get to worst to best. At number 14, like I said earlier, we have Tank Pool in dead last at a 46.8% win rate across 50,000 games. And at this point, I think the numbers are just telling us that Deadpool is really struggling right now. We looked at this in the strategist video as well. Tank Pool, yes, he could be annoying in the right hands, but if you're trying to win, I really just don't think any Deadpool form is really the move in Season 9 at this point. At number 13, we have Magneto, and this is a surprise at a 48.3% win rate across over 100,000 games, because if you actually play the game, Mag still feels really strong in good hands. So seeing him this low really makes me think, you know, maybe the full ladder might be dragging him down a little bit. My takeaway here is simple, guys. He can look really great, he can look really strong, his team-ups are really strong, but the overall result is just really not there. At number 12, we have Groot with a 49.1% win rate across almost 51,000 games. And Groot here is a weird one because when your team, you know, actually uses the walls and the team-ups well, he can still look really solid, but at the end of the day, ranked is ranked, and people just at lower ranks really don't always use him or, you know, have the space to give you a good Groot, and that follow-up is not there, and then Groot ends up starting to feel a lot more average than good, especially in Season 9. So to me, I'd say the results make sense for Groot, not so much for Mag. At number 11, we have Emma Frost at a 49.2% win rate across more than 150,000 games, and that's, you know, the biggest sample that we have here in the Vanguard role to look at. So it's not just noise. Emma, you know, she still looks pretty oppressive if a tank gets played. You know, when a tank gets played this much, it looks, you know, oppressive. So if she still can't break 50, then that usually means, you know, the average lobbies might be weighing her down a little bit as well, like we said with Magneto. So I would say that lower ranks are probably not getting the best value out of Emma. At number 10, we have Doctor Strange, and he's sitting at a 49.7% win rate across 122,000 games. So he's basically right on the line. Strange, you know, he gives you control, his team-ups are great, he gives you utility, and all of the normal Strange stuff that we've seen in the past, but right now he just feels more solid than super scary. You can win with him for sure, as the win rate is showing and his position on this list is showing, but I just don't think he's one of the tanks that are really running Season 9. Moving on to number 9, we have Venom at an exact 50% win rate across more than 70,000 games, and I'd say this one is pretty funny because while Venom might always feel awful to play against, you know, or play with, good Venoms can really make your whole backline completely miserable, especially in Season 9 with this dive comp and complementing other dive characters and things like that. So yes, Venom's carry potential is real right now. He's not a free win, but the carry potential is there with a good Venom. So at number 8, we have The Thing at a 50.3% win rate across almost 71,000 games, which I feel like is just not as crazy for him this season than I expected it to be. But he is solid, and if you've played The Thing or you've played against The Thing, you know he's good right now. He's still a great dive counter. His team up with the Torch is great. So I would say he's just, you know, being above 50 is pretty respectable for The Thing. And while he might not be super flashy in the stats, I think he's, you know, coming close to taking over the role and giving a positive result to the Vanguards overall from The Thing. So at number 7, we have Thor coming in with a 50.7% win rate across almost 65,000 games. And in my opinion, I'd say Thor still feels like a very pacey tank. If things in the lobby are getting fast and, you know, maybe a bunch of dive heroes, he's complementing that really well. If the game slows down a little bit, I think he looks a lot more fair. So I think his spot, it definitely makes sense here for Thor. especially since I think he's a lot stronger this season, and I wouldn't put him as like one of those like real outliers though. So at number 6, we have Rogue at a 51.0% win rate across almost 84,000 games. And I'd say this is just a pretty solid, clean stat here for Rogue. She, fits a lot of ranked games, especially with that Gambit team up. And, she's creating a lot of pressure with the Gambit team up. And I wouldn't really play her without it, but the numbers, are really starting to back up that. And I would say that a lot of those wins are, with Gambit. So into the top 5. At number 5, we have Angela with a 51.3% win rate across nearly 40,000 games. And I really like this win rate compared to the sampling size because I feel like not a lot of people are talking about Angela, and I think a lot of tier lists and stuff are saying that she's strong, but I think she's really one of the better tanks in the role this season. So if you want an underrated pick, I'd say, especially since she's actually winning when we look at the stats, I'd say Angela is the one. And I just think Season 9 and her team-ups have benefited her a lot, and I think that people might be sleeping on her right now. So moving on to number 4, we have Captain America himself sitting at 51.7% win rate across 50,000 games. And to me, I think this definitely feels right to put Cap here. I'd say especially with the Hulk team up, he's been pretty good this season. But you just have to be disciplined with your engages for sure, because he could definitely get turned on. But if you are, well disciplined and take your time with it, he could definitely be rewarded. I think, when the player knows him a lot better, the game's going to go exactly how you would expect it to go. So into the top 3. At number 3, we have the Hulk, aka Bruce Banner. So depending on the tracker, I'd say the Hulk is coming in at around 51. He looks to be coming in at around a 51.8% win rate across more than 53,000 games. And to me, this is just, one of those heroes that really always wins and is pretty consistently strong, in all seasons, especially when the player of the hero is just patient. Good Hulk players, especially now giving out all of these team ups, they really understand, and good Hulk players just know how to play him so well to make him always like a high up on the list name. So I'd say, he's definitely a carry. He's not number 1, and he doesn't have the sampling size of some of these other heroes, but to be in the top 3, I think is a fair spot for the Hulk right now with how much we've seen him being played and all of the team ups he gives. So huge result. So at number 2, we have Devil Dinosaur, which was very surprising to me. He's sitting at a 51.9% win rate across more than 130,000 games, which is a huge sample compared to some of the others. He has a positive win rate. So at this point, really, there's no gimmicks here. There's no debating. This is just a safe tank pick for Season 9. 130,000 matches with a positive win rate. If you want, a tank that has been battle tested over many matches within here in Season 9 at every level of ranked, I'd say Dino is probably the one. But moving on to number 1, I think you guys all knew this was coming, but it's Penny. And honestly, I think this one is not very subtle because Penny is coming in with a 56.3% win rate across more than 90,000 games. And that is one of the largest, win rate to sampling size of matches gap that we've seen across this whole list. She controls space. She's punishing dive really well this season. And I think she just fits Season 9 really better than any other Vanguard right now because she can fit into any matchup or, any counter. She's a great counter pick to many heroes and things like that. So if you're looking for the best tank in the role, Penny is going to be that one. So when you zoom out, the role is actually pretty easy to read when you take a look at this list. Penny is the clear number 1 if we're looking at win rate alone across, and when we're waiting with match sampling sizes as well. So Penny or Dino or Cap or Angela or the Hulk are looking like your safe heroes right now. At higher ranks, I'd say Mag is, it's still a surprise to me to see Mag on this list so high up because he is so strong at higher ranks when there is a good Mag player. So I would say, at a higher rank, you want to look towards like your Mag or maybe even Rogue with your Gambit team up. So if you had to lock, one Vanguard, or if you had any comments about this list here today, guys, I'm curious to see what you think. And if you want more Marvel Rivals content every Tuesday and Friday, please hit subscribe. I break down, all the roles and all of the meta changes and shifts with actual patch review of patch notes and things like that, and statistics looking across live trackers and things like that. So thank you guys for watching very much, and I will see you in the next video.